Look, I lost 100 pounds. I've got my fair share of stretch marks on my body. And I did my due time when it came down to loose skin as well. But I put a lot of things into place that helped mitigate that loose skin, helped reduce the loose skin, and I want to share a lot of things with you. I want to teach you how fasting, how proper implementation of certain foods can truly make a difference in terms of your loose skin. Now, I will tell you, some of it comes down to genetics. Some people have better skin than others, but there are things that you can put into place, specifically when we talk about fasting and we talk about topical things. Okay, stretch marks, word to the wise, they're probably going to appear when you gain the weight, less so when you lose the weight. But the loose skin is something that we can take care of after the fact. Now, I know a lot of people end up at the game a little bit late. They've already lost the weight and they've got a lot of loose skin, and they think that it's too late. They think that they can't really do anything about it. Well, I'm here to tell you that's not necessarily the case. It may go a little bit slower for you, but you can reduce that loose skin. You can get rid of that. But the best course of action is to try to take these measures into place as you're losing weight. So let's go ahead and let's break it down. The first thing I want to talk about is how fasting does affect loose skin. I think one of the biggest reasons that I didn't end up with a lot of loose skin was because I implemented so much in the way of fasting. And fasting activates a lot of autophagy. We're finding out that autophagy is key to basically keeping our skin healthy but preventing loose skin, okay? Because autophagy is very critical in collagen formation and collagen utilization within the body. There's a study that was published in the Biochemical and Biophysical Communications Journal that found that as people age, the fibroblasts, which are a portion of our collagen, start to age, of course, and therefore resulting in lesser amounts of autophagy occurring. So what that means is as our collagen ages, it has less of an ability to recycle itself. So we end up kind of down this path of we get older and we have less ability to actually keep our collagen healthy. So basically, as you age, the fibroblasts become sort of clogged with cellular waste parts. And because they become so clogged, autophagy just doesn't really do its job anymore. It's usually the job of autophagy to recycle old parts of cells, to recycle and utilize in order to make them stronger. It's like a survival of the fittest kind of thing, right? Where it's basically cells consume parts that are weak or dying and use those as fuel for themselves, so you're just left with stronger cells. Well, if you're aging and you have less sort of efficiency of that happening, you can see how that becomes a problem. But my point in saying this isn't to say that as you get older, you'll never be able to get rid of loose skin. That's not what I'm saying at all. My point is saying that it proves autophagy is key. We're finding for sure that now that we see that the reason that people end up with loose skin and the reason that people end up with saggy skin as they get older is because the lessened amount of autophagy. So if we can just increase the amount of autophagy, that might improve. It's all about that ratio of waste production to autophagic flux, basically how much autophagy. So if we have more waste occurring, but less autophagy, clearly we have a problem. Now, fasting obviously induces autophagy. You go for a period of time without eating, it makes it so that your body has no choice but to tap into its own cellular energy for energy. It's like, where's the food? Okay, I guess I'll start eating these old cellular waste parts. Well, this makes a big difference in our collagen. So it's not about just our body literally eating up the excess skin. That's not what's happening at all. It's eating up the cellular waste that frees up the collagen to get elasticity again. So we're not magically eating our skin when we're fasting. That's not the case at all. We're eating the waste that's allowing the elastic component of the collagen to come back to life, giving our skin elasticity again, in the same way that a good moisturizer will tighten up the skin. It's simple as that. Now, we'll talk about specific ways to induce autophagy a little bit later in this video. Now let's talk about some other pieces that relate with collagen a little bit more too. Okay, so we have to look at consuming vitamin C. One of the things that I didn't do when I was losing weight was get adequate amounts of my vitamins and minerals, and I honestly think that I would have made a bigger impact on my body if I had paid attention to that. You see, now, knowing what I know now, collagen is pretty interesting. Collagen requires vitamin C. So rather than just consuming a bunch of collagen and hoping for the best, I'm a big fan of trying to get your body what it needs to support collagen production and formation in the body. So vitamin C is required to form the structures that collagen forms. So collagen needs vitamin C to actually build the scaffolding. So when we're talking about skin structure, muscle structure, things like that, we need vitamin C for that. So whatever you have to do that, okay, whether it's going to be supplementation or food, it all depends if you're on a ketogenic diet or whatever. Another thing that I would recommend is getting some berries in. Okay, anything that's going to have what's called ellagic acid. Berries are one of the highest forms of ellagic acid. And what that does is it slows down the breakdown of collagen. Okay, so when you're losing weight and you have lots of excess skin forming because the fat's going away, you need to take extra efforts to reduce collagen breakdown. And no amount of collagen coming in your body is going to help the breakdown. You need to do what you can in the way of diet to help improve how your body supports that breakdown, or stops that breakdown, I should say. Okay, so berries, since they contain ellagic acid, are very, very powerful at that. Another thing is going to be high amounts of garlic. Now, this isn't any kind of just random stuff. I'm not just randomly grabbing foods that I think have small components that'll help you out here. These, when it comes down to supporting collagen formation and stopping the breakdown, these are the best ones. So garlic is high in caffeic acid. Caffeic acid has a similar effect to ellagic acid. So we're, again, stopping the breakdown of collagen, which allows the collagen that is coming in the body to actually do a job of repairing. So the next piece that we have to talk about is what you can do topically. Okay, we know that fasting is going to be good. We know that consuming the right kind of things to give you the ellagic acid and the vitamin C are good. Okay, but what about topically? Okay, well, here's the thing. When I was losing weight, I was always big on moisturizing my skin. That was one thing that I paid attention to, probably because I had a lot of doctors and health experts in my corner at that time, so I knew how important it was. And I also was young enough to realize that, wow, okay, I've got a lot of life ahead of me. I don't want to end up with saggy, loose skin. So I moisturized like crazy. But here's the thing. People tend to think that moisturizing is only important if you're gaining weight. Okay, pregnant women, if their tummies are getting bigger, they're going to use moisturizer to make sure they don't get stretch marks. But we have to think of moisturizing as important when we're losing weight too. All right, think of this. You have a rubber band and you stretch that rubber band out and then it gets brittle. You ever seen a dry rubber band before, how they're all brittle, and then if you try to stretch it more it breaks, but it definitely doesn't shrink? Well, if you were moisturizing it at the end, it would still allow it to shrink. So we still need to moisturize and make it so it's not dry so that you can shrink. Okay? Remember, when the skin is expanded and stretched is when it needs moisture the most so that it can actually maintain the elastic component. We're not trying to cheat the system here. We're trying to fix the underlying issue, which is the elastic component of collagen. Now, the other thing that you can factor in too is witch hazel. Now, witch hazel seems to have an opposite effect as a moisturizer at first glance because it's an astringent, but witch hazel has powerful anti-inflammatory effects. So the anti-inflammatory effects actually help it so that the body can neutralize what it needs to neutralize and get collagen where it needs to go. If you have too much inflammation occurring at the skin level, the dermis level, then it makes it so the body can't really do its job to allow that collagen to build. So 10 years ago when I was losing weight, I didn't have access to the things that I have access to today. And if I could have done things differently 10 years ago, I would have been using a moisturizer and would have been using a soap that didn't have all the chemicals in it. Okay, I was focused on the moisturizer, but I wasn't focused on what I was putting in my body at that point in time. It took me years to figure that out. Go ahead and let's move on to foods that are going to improve autophagy, things that you can take internally that might help you out a little bit more in the grand scheme of things. So autophagy isn't something that just occurs when we're in ketosis, or it doesn't just occur when we're fasting. It's occurring all the time, kind of off and on, to some degree. Okay, that's where people were talking about, okay, autophagy decreases in the skin and blah, 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 but that doesn't mean that those people were fasting. It's always off or on. So here's the thing, there's foods that we can consume. One of the best things that you can consume a lot of is going to be green tea. Consuming green tea, the EGCG, stimulates autophagy. So in between meals, when your body is more likely to upregulate autophagy, would be a great time to consume some matcha, consume some green tea. Another piece is going to be ginger. Okay, the gingerols and the 6-shogal that's in ginger plays a really big role in upregulating autophagy as well. So again, same kind of thing you want to do between meals. In fact, you can even put a little bit of ginger in your green tea. It's something that I did in the past and it just tastes really good. So anyhow, you're just kind of double whammy having this compound effect of things that can improve autophagy. Also, if you're fasting, sip on green tea during your fast. That way you're already getting the autophagy effect of fasting, but you're adding green tea to it and getting that double whammy effect. Then there's two other things that you can add in. Curcumin is going to make a big difference, and then reishi mushroom is another big one. That kind of works at almost a genetic level. Helps our gene expression to turn on that collagen activation so we can start rebuilding collagen the way that we need to. Okay? You're never too old for this. You can absolutely restore your collagen. You can absolutely restore your skin. If you're a little bit older and you've had loose skin for a long time, you may need to do some more aggressive fasting, meaning you might need to fast for 24, 48 hours a few times per month, or do it a little bit more often. The longer the fast, the more autophagy you're going to have, up until about 72-ish to 96 hours. And then it starts to kind of taper a little bit. So you might want to consider doing some longer fasts. The important thing is that you don't do it too frequently. Okay? I'd rather you do longer fasts somewhat infrequently than do really short fasts all the time. Okay, it's just a little bit better of a pattern to get into, and it allows your body to stimulate that autophagy that's going to allow you to heal your skin. And newsflash, it's not going to magically heal it. Okay, it's not going to be like you go and you do some fasting for 3 days and your skin's gonna just suck up. No, it makes it so that you give yourself the tools so that collagen can rebuild. Remember, it's a process. So 3-day fast might not show the benefits for 6 more months, but trust me, it's a genetic thing and it's a collagen thing. So please, as always, if you want more videos on this type of topic, please make sure you let me know down below in the comment section. As always, I'll see you in the next video and thank you for watching.